Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to the SPM 2022 writing paper, right? I'm going to get into it. Hopefully that I would help you on how to answer your writing paper better and ensuring that you get the marks that the highest marks you possibly could for your writing paper. So questions to be asked. How many parts are there in the writing paper 11192? I'm sure you know. If you're around, please do answer the question so that I can see some answers. If you are around, just type in the answer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parts. How many parts do you think are there in the writing paper? Hi, Salina. Good afternoon. Hi. So nobody is giving me any answers. I'm still waiting. There is a 10 seconds delay actually from when I'm speaking to you are hearing me. Right, I see someone says 3. Thank you so much. 3, okay, right. Yes, there are 3 parts in the writing paper. How many minutes should you spend on each part? Oh, thank you. Salina has also answered 3 parts. Okay, how many minutes should you spend on each part? What would your teacher advise you on how many minutes you should spend on each part? 25. Just because 3 parts divide by first of all, you need to know how many hours. There is only how many hours for you to do this paper? All right, so I have another person say 25 minutes. All right, actually you're advised to spend part 1 15 minutes, part 2 30 minutes, and part 3 45 minutes. Okay, all right. Okay, thank you for all the answers. Awesome. All right, what is the mark for each part? Even though you are spending different minutes, you are spending the amount of time different from one part to another part, but each part, has 20 marks. The marks are the same, but the level of the questions and the marking is different based on the parts. Okay. All right, let's look at what we are going to look at. We are going to look at short communicative message, which is more or less email. It can be any others, but most of the time you will get an email. But don't forget to read the questions as usual if you have to answer a message or a note and so on. Part 2 is essay, and part 3 you get 3 out of these 4 choices. You might get an article, a report, a story, or a review. Out of these 4 choices, only 3 of these would be asked, and you choose only 1. So at the end, you write 3 essays out of the 5 essay questions there. Part 3, you will have 3, choose 1. Okay, let's start. The format for paper 2, beginning 2021, beginning last year, SPM 2021, all right, you have limited response, which would be your part 1, and then you have your open response, which would be your part 3. So the part is an individual examination, and you have these 3 parts, where part 1 you write about 80 words, and you can see in bracket that I put there A2. This is to tell you that the level of the essay is an A2 level. If you look at our curriculum, okay, if you are in year 6 and form 1, you are at A2 level. So this part of essay is year 6 form 1 level, right? So I believe that if you are form 5, you should be able to achieve A2. This part 1 essay would be easy for you. For part 2, it's between 125 to 150 words, which is B1, right? B1 level is your form 3, form 4, and form 3, form 4 level up to form 5. The P3, part 3 is the one that is B2, which is definitely higher than your level. Form 5. But if you're good in your language, you can achieve B2 to C1 easily, right? So the range of the exam is the B1, B2 range. That is why even though the marks is the same for each one, hi Kalai, even though the marks is the same for each one, 20 marks each, but when the teachers are marking, we are looking at different things. And these are some of the things that I will let you know what the examiners are looking for, the teachers are looking for, what we are looking for in an essay. All right. All right, let's look at email. Okay, I'm going to share with you my formula that I've shared with a lot of people, and I have heard that it helps a lot of students to make sure they write well. And I shared this when I did the UASA live. So what I'm trying to say is the strategy is the same. It's just the language increased in difficulty, and you should show more vocabulary, you should show more your command of the language as you progress in writing the different parts. Okay, so the strategy, all right, is read the instruction. Always read instruction because you need to know, okay, what you need to do. You read the stimulus. The stimulus is what is given to you. It can be in a note form. It can be in the, if it's an email, the email, what the person has written to you and what you need to reply, that's the stimulus. And then you underline keywords, as you can see, underlining keywords has been, okay. All right, Vinesh, I've seen your question. If more than words, the pemeriksa can cut the marks. Vinesh, we do not cut marks for more words that you have written. But when you write more words, you might go off topic. Okay, just be careful. Writing more means you make more errors. And if you write more, you might go off topic because you might be giving things that we don't need. That's all. Right. Thank you, Cheryl, for sharing that with Vinesh. Underline the keywords. As you notice that I always ask to underline keywords. The reason for underlining keywords is your focus. Always remember that when you're in an exam, you are overwhelmed. When you're overwhelmed, you might miss something. So underlining keywords, highlighting it will help you focus what you need to do. All right. Answer the 7 questions. This is the formula I've come up with myself. Tapirlah, tell you what it is. If you have followed the UASA, you know. Then write your email and then read your email back just to check you have answered the questions, which is the 7 questions, the Tapirlah questions. And then if you have time, edit. Now, this is only 15 minutes. Don't take too long. Okay? Yeah, Puan Salina loves the Tapirlah. All right. So, okay, this is example of a question. You must answer. You have no choice. You have to answer this question. You received an email from your new friend Amin, who has just moved to your neighborhood. So you have a new friend named Amin who has just moved to your neighborhood. It doesn't matter. I know you don't have a friend named Amin, but for the sake of this task, you have to assume you have a friend Amin who has moved. And this is what is called a stimulus. So to stimulate you to answer. All right. So you have hi. Tomorrow is a public holiday. If you notice, they never write the name here. The reason is because they don't know who you are. Okay. So when they don't know who you are, the best thing is just put hi, so that when you reply, you can put any name you want and it's safer that way. Tomorrow is a public holiday. Let's play a sport with our neighbors. What shall we play and where shall we go? What should we bring? You see, there are questions there that you need to answer. I'm looking forward to your reply. Bye. Now this email, okay, now write your email to your friend in about 80 words. Okay. So step 1 and 2, read the instruction and stimulus, which we already did. I already read it out to you. That's what you do. And then you underline the keywords. Now, when you underline the keywords, you need to know you receive an email. Definitely your response will be an email. See here, write an email. So it's an email. It is a new friend, Amin, who has just moved. So tomorrow is a public holiday. Play sport with whom? With the neighbors. Importance is what, where, to play and what to bring. So looking forward, you have to write about 80 words. Once you have done that, you know what you need to focus on. The question that you are going to use, the 7 questions is the same for any essays. One formula for all essays, all right? So the 7 questions, the Tapela question is what type text do you need to write? That is why I underline the word email, because you need to write an email. That's the text type, okay? And then who is going to read that email? Don't say the examiner, don't say the teacher. The person that you are writing to, he or she is the audience. So in this case, it is Amin who is going to be your audience. He's the person who's going to read the email, okay? And what is the purpose of you writing the email? Now, the purpose is Amin has asked you for suggestion on what sports to play. So you want to suggest a sport. That's the purpose of writing or replying the email. If I'm going too fast, please let me know in the comment section. And what information must I include? There is a reason why I have this formula, and I'll show you later how this formula, Tapela formula, has an impact on your marks. Which part of this formula goes to which part of your marks, okay? Now, what information must I include? The information. Information that you must have in your email is what to play, because I underlined, right? What to play, let's play. What shall we play, right? Where shall we play? That means where to play and what to bring. These are the 3 important questions that I must answer in my email. If I don't answer my email with these 3 answers to the 3 questions, I wouldn't get good marks, right? Then what is the appropriate register? Being Form 5, okay, if you are in Form 4 and you're listening good, you can practice this. If you are Form 5, Form 4, Form 5, you know you have 3 types of registers, which is the formal register, informal register, and you have one more, which is semi-formal registers. Right? You need to know what are the features of these registers so that when you write, you make sure you have the features of the register in your essay. Okay? So it's an informal register because you're writing an email to a friend. So friends usually informal. And I'll explain to you what are some of the features of an informal register. Important question number 6, what suitable linkers or sequence connectors can be used? These are very, very important, and you can use, I gave a few examples, and however, therefore, also then. Okay, you can use the others also. What suitable words and sentences can be used? This what we are looking for, accuracy. Because we are looking at spelling, you must make sure your spelling is correct. Punctuation. I'm going to remind again, punctuation, very important. You need to know when you put full stop, when you have to have your question mark. Use capital letter for I when you're addressing yourself. And then you, when you're talking to your friend, you, Y-O-U, not just the letter U. These are things that many of you are so used in writing short form because of your social media, text messages, and DM that you do. And it has become a habit for you, and therefore it affects when you're writing because you do not notice that you did that because it becomes a habit, like I've said. So you must be very careful. And we are also looking at vocabulary. You need to show that you have different kinds of vocabulary, not using the same words over and over again. And lastly, which I've not written there, is your sentence structure, whether you use simple sentences, complex sentences, compound sentences. These all has an impact on the marks you would get. But being an A2 essay, which is year 6 Form 1 kind of essay, we definitely accept simple sentences from you at this level, all right? Okay, then you write an email. This is an example of an email. All right, that has been written. Now, hi Amin. Let's look at registers. Hi Amin is a feature of a informal language. You can say hi to your friend. Bye is another feature. That's a splendid idea. Contraction That's is a feature of informal, and you have exclamation mark. That's a splendid idea. I suggest we play football because all our neighbors enjoy playing football. Full stop. Furthermore, comma, most of them are very good at the game. Therefore, we can learn from them on how to improve our game. We can play the game at the field in our neighborhood. The field is big and it has goalposts. The goalposts, however, do not have nets. I will bring the nets. Can you bring the football? Asking question is a feature of a informal register. I have lent my football to a school friend. Bye. That's all has been written. Okay. Right. An email. Simple, short, not so long. One paragraph is enough. Now, email, you just write one paragraph, 80 words. You don't have to worry about paragraphing for part 1. It's very short because 80 words, okay? So now I want to check whether I've answered the 7 questions that I've listed out. So did I write an email? Yes. Now, when Amin wrote to you, Amin straight away said that, tomorrow is a public holiday. Amin didn't ask, how are you? So please don't ask Amin, hi, Amin, how are you? Because you are wasting the number of words there. Unless Amin, in the stimulus, Amin say, hi, how are you? Tomorrow is a public holiday. Yes, you can say, hi, Amin, I'm fine, thank you, hope you are fine too. And then you can say that's a splendid idea. So always reply the message or reply the email the way that you received them. So that's a splendid idea. I suggest, so that's one thing I want to remind all of you, because you all are into the habit of how are you? You all are wasting words there when you do that. Okay, so did Amin write an email? Yes, it looks like an email. He did. And if I'm Amin, I received this. The audience is Amin. I said, hi, Amin. Yes. Did I suggest a sport? Yes, I suggest we play football. It's written here. So yes. All right. What to play football? Where to play? Did I say where to play? Yes, I say play at the field in our neighborhood. And I said I will bring the nets, and I asked you to bring the football. Okay, so it's done. Okay, now it's informal, like I say, hi, bye, exclamation mark, asking question, contractions. These are all features of informal register. Yes. And what suitable linkers I have used here? Furthermore, therefore, however, because, and, you have so, but, because, you got so many, yeah, right? And then I'm looking at the suitable words that I've used. I will come in detail about the words when we discuss how we mark this essay, right? Now I'm going to show you why the Tapirla acronym, that question, has all the features in the 4 criteria in assessing an essay. I'm sure you have seen your teacher write C, which is content, CA, communicative achievement, O, organization, and L for language. So content, 5 marks. We are looking at the P and I in Tapirla, okay, which is the purpose. What is the purpose? To suggest a sport. What are the information needed to put? What to play, where to play, what to bring. So did I fulfill the task? Meaning, if I'm Amin, am I informed? You have given me all the information? Yes. If yes, regardless of your language, I read, I understand, you can get 5 marks. All right? Then you have communicative achievement. Now, communicative achievement is the text. If it is an email, it looks like an email. I'm writing to my friend Amin. He's my friend, therefore my register is informal. Therefore, does it look like an informal register, informal email? Does the feature of informal email appear in my email? All right, and the purpose also here is to suggest. It sounds like a suggestion instead of sounding like an instruction. Okay, so you have these 4 features in communicative achievement, where they say, is it a correct genre? Genre is like in email, a story, a report, an article, and so on. Register, like I've said just now. Tone, when you're writing to your friend, the tone you use. the appropriateness of language. That's when you come with your purpose and your audience. Sorry. Okay, so when you're writing to your friend, does it sound like you're writing to your friend? If you're writing for your teacher, does it sound like you're writing to your teacher? That's the tone, the choice of words. Okay, right. And then you have organization. That's why your L and A, linkers and accuracy. Why? Because how the text is put together. What kind of linkers are you using? Right? And then your punctuation, like I said, capital letters, full stop, question mark, comma, used appropriately, has impact on organization. Hi, Adam. Okay, so then you have L for linkers, A for accuracy. Then you have the last one, language. Now for language, we are looking at A, accuracy. That means we are looking at your vocabulary, your spelling and grammar, including your sentence structure. How accurate are they? Are they very accurate, not accurate, little bit accurate? So you have marks from 1 to 5 and we will mark them accordingly. Okay. Now, so this is the essay that you have seen just now, okay? And you have the 4 criteria in assessing an essay. Content 5 marks. Why? It's in blue here, right? So we play football, play the game at the field, at the neighborhood. I will bring nets. Can you bring football? Everything is there. I am informed about the whole thing that Amin has asked. Okay, next. Communicative achievement. It is a suggestion, right? He said, I suggest. Okay, he asked me, can you bring the football? Hi, Amin, bye. These are registers. Tone appropriate. You're welcome, Ramsia. Hi. Okay, so next, organization. When you do organization, linking words, you got because, furthermore, therefore, and however. Now, because this essay is low level, not low level, I mean for young, your proficiency level is year 6 form 1, supposedly at that level, we accept simple linkers like however, and, but, because, so, then you can use, you still will get 5 marks, okay? And then you have your language. Language, if you can see, is in red. The word suggest, playing football, game, improve, neighborhood, feel. Now, it all has relation to a sport, okay? Goalpost, nets, lent. Now, lent and borrow, if you don't know the meaning, you use wrongly, you use I have borrowed and it's wrong, okay? Then this person has shown that he knows how to differentiate between lent and borrow. I have lent means someone has taken it from me. Borrow means I have taken from someone else. So these are words that shows that you know how to use the language. Therefore, get 5. Now, it's easy to get 20 marks for part 1. If you write straight to the point, follow the genre, follow the registers, have appropriate tone, your punctuation, okay, you can get. All right? Vinesh, for SPM, they calculate marks, we get total marks times 100. I don't know where you get this, Vinesh. Vinesh, the paper, you have 4 exam papers. I'm answering to Vinesh. I have to answer to Vinesh first. You have 4 papers. You have reading, writing, listening, speaking. Each of these papers are equally important, meaning each of these papers is 25%. No paper is more important than another paper. You have to do well in all the 4 papers because each of these papers, 25, 25, 25, 25% equals to 100%. So there is no like the marks that you get out of 60, they are going to convert it to 100. That one, you wouldn't know, I wouldn't know. What I know is each paper is 25%. Okay, Vinesh, I hope that answers or gives you more clarity on how the SPM papers allocation of marks would be, okay? Now, coming back to linkers, remember you can get good marks for organization when you use connectors such as and, or, but, so, because, first of all, finally, or your teachers in Form 5 would like to use the acronym FANBOYS. That FANBOYS, it's the linkers for part 1 will be good. But the moment you go to part 2 and part 3, you should use beyond the fanboys, which is like, for example, in conclusion, however, moreover, subsequently, furthermore, in other words, as a result, for that matter, in addition, you got so much more. Try to use that more. Make sure you know what it means to use. Don't simply just put in there for the sake of putting it in, but it doesn't carry meaning. Yeah, I know, Vinesh. A lot of people starts with the email, hi, how are you? I hope you're in the pink of health. You don't have to, because you are using a lot of words there already. If you count the number of words there, you are using more words. And don't forget, when Amin wrote this letter, Amin straight away say, tomorrow is a public holiday. Amin didn't ask whether you are fine. So just go straight to the point. Just go straight to the point. Like here, hi, Amin, that's a splendid idea. Hi, Amin, I think, you hit the nail on the, see, I forgot. All right. You can say, you can use any expression, right? You hit the nail on the head, and to suggest that something like that is fine. You don't have to say, hi, how are you? I hope you're in the pink of health, unless Amin has written, hi, I hope you are fine, or how are you? And then you can answer in that way. That's how I see it, because I don't want you to waste the number of words. Okay, right? Okay, now, any questions for this? I think there is no questions. Once you understand this, it's easier for me to go to part 2, because you will get an idea already how to go about doing your guided writing, which is the essay part. Okay, when I give talks, I usually say, the essay is the most boring thing to write. Okay, now the strategy is the same. The strategy for all essays is the same. I'm just repeating. The reason I'm repeating is so that it just go into your mental, your brain, and is stuck there. Read the instruction, read the stimulus. They will give you the stimulus. Underline the keywords. Answer the Tapirlah questions, got 7. Write your email. Not email, sorry, it's not your email. Write your essay, I'm sorry, there's a mistake there, and read your essay to check you have answered the question, and then edit if you have time. So sorry, because I just copy and paste, that's what happens. Write your essay, not email. Okay, now this is the stimulus and the instruction. So the first step is you need to read the instruction and stimulus. This is part 2. So you must answer this question. Write your answer in 125 to 150 words in an appropriate style. The appropriate style here usually is the essay. Now, if you have been doing Form 4 books, which is full blast, and download book Form 5, you will realize that when you write essay for essay questions, it's always the same pattern. Your class has been discussing about whatever the topic is, and your teacher has asked you to write an essay about the topic. It's always the same. You have this in full blast and you have this in download. Therefore, for English, the only subject where what your teacher uses in the classroom, which is the textbook, and what is going to come out in the exam would be the same. All right, unlike other subjects except for English. Therefore, I'm telling you, the textbook is very good to prepare you for SPM. Okay, refer to your textbook for all when it comes to listening, speaking, reading, and writing. So you have been discussing, and in your essay, you should write about what your ambition is, reasons for your choice, and how would you fulfill your ambition. Now, in your textbook, I know they will always put an extra one, which is blank, where you have to put your own answer, but you won't usually get that for SPM. Now, write your essay. They already told you it's an essay. Using all the notes, you have no choice but to use all these notes, and giving reasons for your point of view. So you have this, you already read, you underline your keywords. So You write 125 to 150 words on ambitions. Okay, and these 3 important points must be in your essay. And don't forget to give your reasons for your point of view. Sorry, I have some allergies. Okay, right. Let's answer the 7th Tapirlah question, which is T text. Now, during your exam time, you don't have to write the question in full, that way you have no time. What you do is you see the word essay, you put T for tapir, text, T. All right, audience would be your teacher. All right, so here you just circle your teacher and put A. All right, that's how you do it in your exam. So who is my audience? It will be my teacher. Because why? My teacher has asked me. Teacher has asked me to write an essay. Vinesh, no Vinesh, usually part 2 is always an essay. All right, format essay would be for part 3. Okay, right? Don't worry about it. Part 1 is an email or message. Part 2 would be essay always. And write an essay about it. I'm sure you have the teacher. Your teacher has asked, so your audience would be your teacher. What is the purpose P of writing this essay? To write this essay is because it's about ambition. You are discussing, you want to discuss. I change your to my. Why? I must remember I'm writing about myself, because the question is giving me instruction. They use your. You must be careful, because I've seen pupils when they write, they still use the word your just because the question say your. Therefore, you will have not good marks because you don't understand what you need to do. So to discuss my ambition, even here I've changed my teacher from your teacher. Okay, right. Now what information must I include? Now your information are all here that I've underlined. So you can just draw mind maps here and just show this as your I, which is my ambition. Your I've changed to my, reason for my choice, and how to fulfill my ambition. So I've written here the information that I must have. Okay, I know what is the appropriate register. I'm writing to my teacher. Just remember, your register has connection to your audience. Okay, so I am writing to my teacher. My teacher is so much older than me. Okay, so my teacher is not my friend. I have to write a formal language. Okay, formal register. And there's an extra question for number 6, because as part 1, you only write 80 words. So there is no questions about paragraphing. But in part 2, you want to say what suitable linkers, sinkers, connectors can be used and how many paragraphs. This is the one added. So minimum there should be 3 for this part. If you write more than 3, it's fine. Nobody's going to be upset with you. You can write more than 3, but minimum 3. Why? You have to have an introduction, the body, and your conclusion. Okay, so these are some of the linkers I can use. If I were all of you, what I do is before I start the exam papers, I would just list down all the cohesive devices and linkers that I can use. And whenever I use any of it, I just put a tick to show that, so that I know that I've used a variety of sequence connectors and linkers. Okay, because when during exam, all of you are stressed. You cannot even remember what you have done. So listing them down and ticking them whenever after you use them would give you, like a reference of how many linkers you have used and whether you have used it correctly. Okay, and then suitable words depends on the ambition that you have said. I cannot list the words there because I do not know what ambition you would have written. Only you would know. It depends on your ambition. Okay, and then you also have to make sure your spelling, vocabulary, your punctuation, and your sentence structure. That's the thing for number 7, accuracy. Okay, right. This is an example of an essay written by student, okay? Not a sample essay. Now, the ambition is indeed a necessity for every one of us because it encourages us to work harder in order to achieve our own life goals. There are mistakes in this essay. As for me, I aspire to be a school teacher. I really idolize my mother as she was once a school teacher who became a favorite American spelling of many of her students due to her ability to teach them in extraordinary ways. Now, if you use American spelling, make sure it's all American spelling throughout. If you use British spelling, all British spelling throughout. You cannot mix British and American spelling in an essay, okay, because that has connection to spelling, right? This indirectly encouraged her students to enjoy during her class while understanding the lessons given. I found it interesting to teach people in joyful ways in order to make them fall in love in learning something, especially for boring subjects like history. Although the salary is not as high as a doctor's salary, but I still believe that every career has its own fun and challenges as long as we are sincere to do so. In order to be a great teacher, I must focus on my studies, especially mathematics, as I really want to be an expert in it. Despite that, teaching my friends is one of the best ways to familiarize with teaching techniques. Reviewing any of the teaching videos in the internet or even asking my mother's tips could also help me to enhance my skills in teaching. Eventually, having an ambition could drive me to do better in life. Right, so this is an essay written by a student. So let's read and check. I already read, let's check whether the 7th question has answered. So whenever you put in your stimulus, the A, the T, you can tick at the side that you have fulfilled it, right? So does this look like an essay? Yes. Okay, very, in 3 paragraphs, it sounds like an essay. Okay. Is it suitable for my teacher to read? Yes. Okay. The purpose is to discuss my ambition. Did I discuss my ambition? Yes, I discussed about why I want to be a teacher. And the information that I have is my ambition to be a teacher. The reason why, my mother was one of the reasons, and I also wrote how I'm going to fulfill it. Okay. Register. Now, when you do formal register, you don't have hi, you don't have bye, you don't have exclamation marks, you don't ask questions. Okay, it's straightforward. And then usually essay, you use a lot of passive voice, all right? And it's just an essay. Okay, I always tell myself essay is the boring one. You just read, it's just no question, nothing, there's no flavor added to it. It's just straight to the point. You can make your essay interesting through choice of words, yes, but it's passive and it's straight to the point. No question, no exclamation marks, nothing. So that is formal register. Okay. Now, what suitable linkers? How many paragraphs? Okay, this is what the essay has, because in order to, as due to, this, although, but, despite, eventually, also, and I got 3 paragraphs. Good. Okay. The linkers, I chose to be a teacher, therefore I have words like students, teach, learn, expert, ability, lesson, subject, salary, fun, challenge, studies, familiar, tips, ambition. This student has shown that she or he has so many variety of vocabulary to use, explaining about her or his ambition, right? So good. Okay. Again, the 4 criteria, just repeating for you. Content. Okay. So you have P, purpose, and information. Did I discuss my ambition? Did I say why I want to be a teacher? Did I give reasons? How I'm going to fulfill my ambition? Is it all done? Yes, done, you can get 5. Is it the correct genre? I'm writing an essay. Does it look like an essay? Does the register shows that it is a formal language? Is the tone appropriate for my teacher to read? Am I being rude to my teacher the way I write my sentences? Okay, the appropriateness of language. Organization, you have one more here. Paragraph, which is not in part 1. So when we are marking part 2, the things that we are looking for is a little bit different than part 1, even though your marks is still 20. Okay, so we look at the linkers. Now the linkers, we expect you to use more of cohesive devices than sequence connectors. Cohesive devices are higher level, like moreover, therefore, in addition, furthermore. This is higher level, which we call them cohesive devices. You use more of that instead of just and, so, but, because. you will get higher marks. And so, but because, and just one, like therefore, and one, however, is enough for part 1, but it's not enough for part 2. Part 2, you need to show you have better control of the language, and then use of punctuation, okay? And then you got accuracy. This one is the same. Looking at vocabulary, spelling, grammar, sentence structure, how accurate are they? Okay. Now, any question? No. I didn't show you how we mark that part. All right. Okay. I didn't show how I mark, so I'm just going to show you the errors that this student has done. All right. Okay. So you can see that the ambition is wrong. You cannot start an essay with the ambition is indeed a necessity for every one of us. All right. She or he could have said ambition is necessary, okay, for every one of us because it encourages us. So sentence structure should change here, okay. And then another error here is this: although the salary is not as high as a doctor's salary, but it's wrong. You already have although, you don't have to use but. If you want to use but, then you don't use although. So the salary is not as high as a doctor's salary, but I still believe, or although the salary is not as high as a doctor's salary, I still believe. You have to be careful, this is grammar. All right, okay, but you still can get marks. Simple errors like this wouldn't make you get low marks. You still can get quite high marks because it's not that her errors are everywhere. It's just a little bit here, the beginning part, but most of it, her language is okay, right? Okay, let's go to part 3. Now, part 3, you got 3 questions. I'm going to go through, I'm going to show you the 3 questions, but I'm only going to do 1, okay? I'm not going to go through all 3 because once you understand how to do it, you will be able to apply this in all of your essays. Okay, so part 3, you have to choose 1. So you got question 3, you see this notice. This is an article. So you have to decide, is article something you're comfortable writing? And these are the 3 ways about ways to save money, how to save money at home, at the bank, help with family. Write us an article answering this question. The best article will be displayed. Write your article, all right? Okay, if I don't want, I have question 4. You recently saw those notice on an online tech magazine. Reviews on smartphones wanted. Well, I think if you're all from 5 get these questions, you all will love this question, especially if you're boys, right? You all love about smartphones. So have you recently purchased a smartphone? Kindly send us your review on the smartphone. Tell us why you like using the smartphone. Would you recommend this smartphone to your friend? Why? The best reviews will be published in our tech magazine. Write your review. So now you have just now, earlier was an article. This one is a review. And then you have the last question. Out of the 4, the last one, out of the 4, the 3 was given is article, review, and this one is a story. So your teacher has asked you to write a story for the school magazine. The story must have the title, The Strange Encounter. And these are the 2 things you need to have your story: the description of the encounter and how the person felt about the encounter. Write the story. So after going through these 3 choices of questions, you have to decide which one you need to choose. So for the purpose of today's seminar, before that, you read the instruction, you read the stimulus, you underline the keywords, don't email, write that one depending on what essay you have chosen. If you have chosen an article, write your article. If you have chosen a review, write your review. If you have chosen a story, write your story and read your story or article or review to check you have answered the question and edit if you have time. This one is 45 minutes for this essay, right? So I have chosen review, okay? You can look at your full blast or your download textbook for how a review looks like. You can use that, no problem, okay? Now you recently saw, so I've decided I'm going to do this. I'm going to read the instruction. and I'm going to read the stimulus. I've decided this is what I want. I'm going to underline the keywords. So instead of underlining this time, I've made it into red in color. Reviews on smartphones wanted. I forgot to do this. It's an online tech magazine. All right. Recently purchased smartphone. Sent review. Why like using? Would you recommend to who? Friend, and why? So I have to write about this information here. Okay. There are questions here that I still have to answer. Right. So my 7 questions. So again, text. What text type I need to write is a review. Right. The reason I'm talking about review because then my register and my audience will have my register will make sure that I have it looks like a review. Who is my audience now? This is important. That's why I said I forgot to put this rate online. Readers of an online magazine. When magazine, the person who is going to be our audience are the readers for an online magazine. So I need to make sure when I write, it is for an online community or online reader. Okay. What is the purpose? The purpose, when you write a review, the purpose is to give your opinion and feedback on a smartphone. That's the purpose of a review. Anyone can give a review. You can give a review on the book, on a movie, all right, review on a gadget, review on any household items. The purpose of a review, you give your personal opinion, your own personal feedback on any of the things that you need to review on. Okay. Now, what information must I include? Now, I mustn't forget, I must say what have you recently purchased a smartphone is yes, what's the brand of the smartphone? Okay. Why I like using it? Again, I've changed your to I. If I would recommend to a friend, and why would I recommend to a friend? So these are things I need to put in my review. If I don't have these things, what marks would come down? My content marks, because I didn't fulfill when I read this, I am not informed or given all the information I needed. Okay. What's the register? Now, this is the part where you use semi-formal because it's a tech magazine and it's an online reader. So you have a mixture of writing to someone who might be your age or older. So you use a little bit of informal register. At the same time, it would be also a little bit of formal. How would you know whether it is semi-formal? You don't really use contractions, but you can ask questions. It's semi-formal, you can ask questions politely. You can use exclamation marks, but you don't really use contractions. Contractions means like you are, all that you don't use. Usually when you read magazines, you very seldom find contractions. They're all written in full. Okay? Now, what suitable linkers or sequence connectors can be used and how many paragraphs? Now, this is 200 to 250 words. You need to write about 5 paragraphs, and this is where you should use 100% cohesive devices, meaning the higher level of sequence connectors. However, therefore, moreover, in addition, furthermore, subsequently. Okay? So that's where you have to use this at this part of your essay. Again, don't simply use when you don't know the meaning, because then it has no purpose. You just put there for the sake of putting it and it's wrong. You still has an impact on your essay because it doesn't make sense. All right. Then, since it's a smartphone, some of the words that I came up with is like stylish, up-to-date, gigabytes, megapixel storage, apps, internet, Wi-Fi, connectivity. I'm sure you all know better than me words and vocabulary connected to smartphones, right? And then don't forget spelling, punctuation, sentence structure, inaccuracy. Okay, example of an essay written by a student for this question. Smartphones are such an important thing. This is an example where you show you don't have words. Thing is so common. Everything is a thing. A smartphone, you can say such an important device, such an important gadget instead of thing, right? especially during this new globalization era. If you guys are addicted now, semi-formal, don't say if you guys. Now, this one is like spoken. When you're writing, I know you love to write that. If you guys, please don't write that. You don't write that in a magazine if you guys are addicted to, right? If you are addicted to virtual activities, you must have at least one smartphone on your own for sure. For your information, I just bought a new smartphone 2 days ago and the result is spectacular. Right. Now, information here, some of you, I know it's not spectacular, but it doesn't matter about the facts. Okay. First thing first, it has endless features and application. For your information, first thing first is more for spoken, but people have accepted it for writing. I wouldn't encourage you to use first thing first. However, it's not wrong. Just for you to remember that first thing first is more spoken than for written. It has endless features and applications. The 5MP, I know 5MP is not great. Camera and video recording feature helps me to capture not only pictures, but also precious moments. Not only that, but all the pictures and videos that have been taken are very high quality and not blurry. This is very important for me as I love taking photos. Furthermore, the smartphone, this is capitalized by the student, smartphone has 16 megabyte internal memory. I can extend the memory by adding a 32 gigabyte micro SD HD memory card. This helps me a lot because I can install various interesting applications. Yes, Ramzia, good, first and foremost. In the smartphone, such as Instagram and Twitter, and also the documents for assignment without having to worry about storage. In addition, this smartphone provides 5G line service, which makes it very fast and does not take long for loading time. This is important, especially in this pandemic season. Then you know when this essay was written, it's not a recent essay, as everyone works and learns online. Thus, with a fast line, I can get the information quickly, as I don't have to wait longer and compete with the crow. Now, I'll explain to you in a while why compete with the crow, okay? All in all, I will recommend this smartphone to all kinds of people, especially others who love virtual activities and active media social users. This smartphone really can help you a lot during this pandemic and new norm situation. So that's the essay written by the pupil, student, okay? So let's check first whether all the Tapela questions has been answered. So is it a review? Yes, because the person has write a review. A review looks like this, good. The audience is a reader of an online magazine, yes, all right. The purpose is to give opinion and feedback. The person did give opinion and feedback on the smartphone. However, I look at the smartphone, I read this and I say, wow, I want to buy the smartphone, but I don't know the brand. So if I go to a shop and I say, I read this review and I want to buy this, I cannot even tell the person what phone I'm looking for. And the person didn't say he would recommend to a friend or not. All right, okay. He said he would recommend it to all kinds of people. Okay, but he didn't say whether he would recommend to a friend. Okay. Is it semi-formal? Yes, it is semi-formal. And these are all the linkers I found in this essay that I've put here. No, Amir Hanif Zuki, you do not have to write the number of words. Okay? Don't waste your time counting the number of words. And then these are the words that he has used, okay, that I found written here. Look at spelling all, which I'm going to discuss this, right? He has all that, and the 4 criteria is the same. Now, the 4 criteria is the same, but for your organization, that's when I say use cohesive devices. The one that people seldom use, which is high level, right? Okay, and the language should be, you should be able to show that you can write complex sentences, compound sentences, more than just simple sentences at this stage. If you are a student who cannot write well, then go ahead, write simple sentences as long as people can understand what you are trying to say. Okay, now let's look at the assessment. Content 3 marks. Why? Don't forget, he didn't say the brand. I assuming it's a boy. He didn't say the brand of the essay. The moment you forget one information to be put into the essay or in the review or any essay, you do not get 5 marks. That is why the formula Tapela, the information, you must get your I correct. You get your I correct, your content, you can get 5 marks unless you write in a language that nobody can understand you. Okay, right, so 3 marks. Very important for brand. For me, brand is very important. If you don't give me the brand, I don't know what phone you are talking, a smartphone you are talking about. Communicative achievement, 3 marks. Why? Because he has, like, if you guys, first thing first, communicative achievement, right? He wrote, yes, it looks like a review, but the intonation, appropriateness is less. Okay, when it comes to part 3, it's not easy for you to just score, just like you did in part 1 or part 2. Part 3 is difficult for you to score everything. We look into every single thing. There are some people who will have different marks. Some will give 3, some will give 4. That's 1 mark different is fine. Okay. Organization, yes. I give good marks because you have first thing first. Not only that, furthermore, in addition, all, does, this, which, use a lot of different types of cohesive devices. I get 5. Some people might give 4, right? Depending. Okay. Language, 3. There are a few things, language is a problem because, like I said, this is a mistake. Besides that, here, not only that, but here also, it looks but also. The FI record features not only pictures, but also, and then not only that, but no. Not only that, comma, all the pictures, you don't have to have but there, have been taken, that have been taken are of a high quality and not blurry. Thus, it is very important to me as I love. All right, and then T should be small letter here. And then when it comes to this, right, here's only the documents. When you mention anything for the first time, you cannot use the. This helps me a lot because I can install various interesting applications in the smartphone, such as Instagram and Twitter. And also documents for assignments without having to worry about storage, the storage, okay? And then the smartphone, which makes it very fast and does not take too long to load, right? Not for loading time, not proper. Thus, with fast connectivity, it's not fast line. Now, all these are language that you use when you speak every day, so fast, the line is so fast. Actually, with fast connectivity, right, I can get information quickly as I don't have to wait long, not longer, I don't have to wait long, and compete with the crow. I couldn't find where this meaning come from. When I saw this, I was checking everywhere. At the end, I was told actually the student forget the word D, crowd, and compete with the crowd. See, when you do spelling errors like this, I'll be wondering whether I am living in don't know what era that I didn't know this was a new proverb or idioms. So I was looking, Googling, is there such phrase called compete with the crow? So be careful with spelling. So make sure you got your D when you have to have D, spelling error. Okay, and then here is social media users don't think in Malay and write in English. This smartphone really can help you. This smartphone can help you. It really can help you. Okay, right. So remember this. You can get good marks for organization when you use connectors such as this, but for this part of the essay, you must make sure you use cohesive devices. Right? Cohesive devices is this one in purple. Okay, next. Another essay that I want to show, a sample essay. Review on MB7 smartphone. See, you got a topic, right? A review should have a title. This one didn't have a title. Did it have a title earlier? No, right? Okay. So you need to have a title. After doing my research, I discovered that the best smartphone for me is the MB7 smartphone. And so I recently got my parents to buy it for me. See, simple, straight to the point. Although the MB7 smartphone is a bit costly, it is worth the price. It is very sturdy. Look at the language. I dropped my phone a few times, but it still works fine. There is also hardly any scratches on the screen. Another reason is because the battery lasts a long time. Another reason you can use another one. All right. In addition, right, the battery lasts longer. It can last for more than 24 hours. Furthermore, it does not take long to charge. The MB7 smartphone has a high memory capacity and a fast processor. This is useful as I sometimes have to take a lot of photos for my school projects. The fast processor helps me to do my school projects easily, especially when I want to get information. I am glad I got the MB7 smartphone because it is durable, has good battery life, and high memory capacity and a fast processor. This smartphone is very useful for teenagers, and I would recommend it to my friends. See, he recommended it to my friends because it's useful for teenagers. Okay, so this is sample. It's not the best, but it's a sample essay which is much better than the other one because it has all the information, the features, the tone, everything that is suitable for this essay. All right, so a reflection. What one new information you think you have learned today? Any new information that you have learned today from the seminar that I have shared with you that you think would be beneficial for you for writing? Okay, nothing. All right. 2 questions you want to ask. Any questions? I know there's a lot of questions that have been asked, and I hope that I have answered everyone's question and I've responded to everyone that I've seen here on the live chat. Okay. All right. If I haven't, if you've got any more questions you want to ask, please feel free to ask. And any 3 new ideas that you would like to try? Silent. I wish you all would. All right, in the text, I'll wait for a few more minutes, a few more seconds before I move on. No. All right, so thank you for your presence. Good luck for your writing paper. Tomorrow at 10 o'clock, I will I'll give you the seminar on speaking. Hopefully it would help you on how to speak well and get ready on how you can be prepared for your speaking so that you would be more confident to start your speaking. Your speaking paper would be in February, definitely for English. And that's all from me. I hope I have helped you a lot in your writing today, and you would use the strategy I've taught you in order for you to answer your essay paper or writing paper the best way possible. All right, so take care, everyone. Goodbye, and I see you tomorrow for speaking. Okay? All right, goodbye.